Good afternoon. It is the afternoon of March 29th, 2023. And looking at the table, I got set up a game of Malta Besieged. And Malta Besieged was one of those games that was long out of print from Victory Point Games. It was a States of Siege game done by Steve Carey, and his game, this one and another one by We Must Tell the Emperor, were out of print for a long time, and so they demanded quite a bit of money on the secondary market. And Worthington published and reprinted this game in the year of our Lord 2022. So I picked it up, and I've been playing it. And let's look at it, and let's play a turn or two, I guess, and then I'm going to give you my review on it. So as you can see, we have right now the Italian Navy, the Italian Air Force, and Italian tanks, armored, which is in North Africa. Right, but coming for you is, at this moment, is only coming from Malta proper, is only the Navy and Air Force. But at any time, if Alexandria falls and it's on to Cairo, then the game can end that way as well. Game also can end if any of, and later you will get the Luftwaffe come in. And so will German U-boats, as will, as you can see up there in the holding box. No, that's not right. This will turn over, and it'll be the Africa Corps will be in North Africa later. You're obviously playing the Allies fighting against the Axis, and it is from the years 1940 to 1942. That's what it's covering in this game. We'll start off by drawing a card, as most of the Victory Point, not Victory Point, excuse me, or the games that had been States of Siege by Victory Point, and that is obviously a trademarked thing. So, but the games that had been the States of Siege games are card-driven and solitaire. So there it is. It's the first one: Faith, Hope, and Charity. You're going to get one action to do as you wish with. There's the flavor text, which we aren't going to read for various reasons. We'll talk about that later. And the only thing that's going to move, you're going to have the Air Force move one. And you're going to get no resources, and it's going to be a -2 DRM for the Navy and the armored in North Africa, and it'll be a +1 DRM to military. If you see, you have three things here, three resources: military, supply, and morale. If all three of these, if one of them get to this box, it'll do things. If the morale gets to 0, it's a -DRM on all resource rolls. If supply gets to 0, it's a -1 DRM on all attacks. And the military gets to 0, it's 1 attack or air support per. And if all three land on 0, the game's over. You're done. You're out of resources. Or if Malta falls, you're out of resources. Or if Cairo falls, you're out of luck and you lose the game, right? But right now, what we want to do is what do we want to do? We can do several things. We can make a roll on a resource, or we can fight against. I'm going to fight against an Air Force. It moves, so you got to roll above a 2, right? Let's see. And rolling above a 2 is no problem. Got a 5, and we push it back. If get all these back into the 5 box or off the map, you can push them to the holding box, which is neat. I do like all the fronts. If you get them back to their original holding box or off the map, then you can win a victory that way. I've done it. It can happen. A lot of things have to set up, but it can happen. Let's do one more turn. The first turn is always card number 1. It's a set. It's a set deck in that way, but not set to where it's two. There's only like 3 cards set, and it's after each epic comes in, right? And not epic, but each. Yeah, I guess we can call it epic in the game. And then the next one is right here. We got 2 actions. You're gonna have the Luftwaffe, but see there's an asterisk. And the Luftwaffe, it says also if in play. If in play, it's not in play. You would have went from 3 to 4, but it's not in play, so we're not really worrying about it. So the only thing that really moves is the Navy right there. And then we have 2 actions, and we will gain 1 supply. We'll go ahead and do that. Probably should. And we're going to fight this for one of the actions. Lost. I'm going to go ahead and fight it again for another action. There we go. Bingo. And it was minus DRM to military and to the armored, and plus one DRM to the supply. I would have liked to have tried the supply, but that is how the cookie crumbles. And this game continues this way until, obviously, you lose. Malta falls. You run out of supply. Run out of resources, or Cairo falls, or you get through to the last card, or you move everybody off the map. You can get through the last card and still usually be a tie if the Africa Corps is in Tobruk, not out of Tobruk, 4 or 5, right? So that's an important part. Okay, let me give a review about this. You may hear my dogs in the background wrestling. It's a quite warm day, and I have them inside, so they outside just barking their head off at the dogs next door. So it is what it is. If you hear them wrestling, that's fine. They ain't hurting nothing. You might hear tags, ding, 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 which is annoying for me, trying to play this game a little bit. So I want to start off with the components of the game. The components, and by far my biggest complaint. Listen, I've got Soviet Dawn. Soviet Dawn came out the deluxe version came out in 2021, and I had 0 complaints about the components. And I just thought it was a little simple. The game is a little simple to box up like that. That was my only beef about that game. Might be a little simple to box up like that, but a good game. Just didn't have a lot of plays in it, and for an $80 game, But my beef wasn't with the components. The components I do have a beef with. The cards, which this is the later decks, they were I've tried to bend them out, but if you can see, they were kind of bold. They were kind of bold bad, almost like this. Every one of them, they were bowled up, and that bothers me. Again, I paid around $80. That's including shipping for the game, and for them cards to come bold bothered me. The board was it's just, you might be able to see it, it's just a little bit warped as well. Again, warped out of the box. That kind of bothered me, right? The counters, it's a low counter game, very low counter game. I didn't like the finish on the counters, but they are functional. Finish felt a little weird to me. Just don't feel very protected in whatever finish is being used there, but they seem to be holding up so far. They're as good as, no, they're not. The finish is as good as Victory Points games, but the counters aren't as good, obviously. Cardboard versus those heavy cardboard, almost wood in feel. The cool thing about it was the box had this slip cover. I loved this. This won my heart just because those Victory Point box games always had a slip cover, right? Those deluxe Victory Point games, States of Siege games had a slip cover. So I loved the slip cover. I thought that was a nice touch. All right, the box is fine. The came with a bunch of bags, which I do like. Came with those charts, nice little charts, were neat. The rule book I found was fine. Right. And this, I always love this. That's how you make up for. You give him an $80 game. You give you a tray in there, a counter tray. Although it's not really needed for this game, but I do love it still. Still a nice thing to do. But again, the warping of the cards and the board just bothered me. The die was nice. That seems like an odd thing, but a lot of times you get those rounded dust. I hate those. So the die was a good deal. Nice. Feels good to roll. And so that was a good deal. So my components, I give like a 4 out of 10 on the components. Just got mad because I take something out of the box and, like I said, you're paying $80 for. It's obviously an issue with whoever they use to print. Probably because of price. Printing's gone up, so that is that. But yeah, that just bothered me. As good as Soviet Dawn was, to take almost a step back in this one just blew my mind. But the game proper, wow. Soviet Dawn, I don't think I should. I got it from a gift certificate I got for Christmas at work. Amazon gift certificate. So I was playing with house money there. I used part of that for that game. This, I bought with my own money, and I paid around, including shipping, around $80. Yeah, I don't feel like I got ripped off. Although I don't like the components, I don't feel like I got ripped off. This is something that had been out of print for a good while. It was commanded, people are still asking stupid money for it, but I just don't know why you would get it for that polybagged edition. I seen earlier, I checked earlier on eBay, and one of them, somebody's asking like $225 for it. It was commanded stupid money for a while. It was the most expensive thing of the old Victory Point games, just because it had been out of print for so long, and it's such a good game. It is. That's why I got it, because I'd heard it was a good game, and it'd been out of print. Steve Carey, the designer, I guess, pulled his rights back on there, which you could do with Victory Point, and fully support an artist in that, a fellow artist in doing that. So I'm not fussing about it. I just I wanted to play it, and I hadn't. So it gave me an opportunity to buy it and play it. And no, I do not feel cheated. Yes, if you have $80 to spend on a game, I do think it's worth it. Again, I was so cold on Soviet Dawn because of that. But this, you have a lot of stuff going on, and you don't see it early. But as the game expands, you start getting the Luftwaffe coming in and the U-boats coming in. And you start having, you see these here? Convoys can be attacked. We'll just turn those over and your convoys will be attacked. And what supplies do and do not get through. Love the convoy rules. Great thing. As the closer they are to Malta, the more problem you're going to have. And the more they are on the board, the more problem you're going to have with losing less and less supply as Malta is trying to be resupplied. Very cool feature. That doesn't come in until later, but very cool feature. Everything about the game. I think, you have games like a Soviet Dawn, which is on the lighter side, obviously. And then you have a game, not just Soviet Dawn, but then you had other games. The first one, Israeli independence, War of Israeli Independence. That's a very simple game. Soviet Dawn's kind of like that, and others in the series is kind of like that. And then you go on the other end to a game like Cruel Necessity, or even what's the zombie game? The Zeds, whatever. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. The zombie game. Those added a lot of different levers. Actually, I think Cruel Necessities tries to do a little too much. I like the game, but I think it does try to do a little too much with what levers, whatever you want to say, you are pulling in that game, and it kind of loses its charm as that old school States of Siege game, right? Where you're fending off everybody. This is right in the middle. It's certainly about to where it can handle everything fine. You don't feel overwhelmed at any point of the game. It's just very easy to handle resource-wise. And ultimately, these are resource management games. But there's enough there. There's enough meat there to make you feel like you're playing a game, right? You're not just rolling dice and pushing counters back. That's what I liked about it. Before I played this, if you would have asked me what my favorite old school States of Siege game was. Ottoman Sunset, maybe. Habsburg Eclipse, maybe. Both of those games, really good, really well done. And you can play those together, put them together and play it. Really well done. Had a lot of fun with both of those games. I think that Ottoman Sunset probably is a little more luck-based than something like this, right? And now I do think this may be my favorite one of these games. I see why people was asking so much money for it. Well, I wasn't going to pay that ridiculous money. I just wasn't. If you know me, you know money means something to me. But for a polybag game, paying for what they were asking for, I just wasn't going to do. I just ain't in my. That just didn't even come into the equation. But I did want to play the game. And when Worthington came out with it, I said, "There's a chance. It's a little expensive, but there's a chance that I could to get it. I'm getting it. If it's not as good as I think, I can always say, hey, it's not." And I can give a review and say it's not all that great, as everybody said. No, I think it holds up to the hype. I think it is that good. I think it's again. I've played most of them. The States of Siege style games, I think this is the best, especially in the original Victory Point outlet. Yeah, so it probably gets like an 8 out of 10, maybe 8.5 out of 10 for me as the game goes, as a holdout type of a States of Siege game. It's that well done in my opinion. Only problem was the components. The components, that warping on the cards and the board just really bothered me. But other than that, yeah, it's worth it. I'll pay the money again. Wouldn't feel like I'm getting ripped off. I think on eBay right now, there's the cheapest I found. You might find it cheaper, but the cheapest I found might be eBay. $60 with like $8 shipping. That's worth every penny. I wish I'd have seen that before I bought this off Amazon. But no matter, it's worth it. If you love the States of Siege games, and if you were thinking, hey, is Malta Besieged worth it? Yes, it is. It's a good game. Multiple plays. You're gonna get. You're not gonna play out as quick as you would like Soviet Dawn. Soviet Dawn, you play it like 3 times. You're like, I'm not looking to do that with almost $100 game. I'd like to get a couple more plays out of it. This one gives me that same sense of Ottoman Sunset where I keep wanting to play it. Although I've had better luck with this. Ottoman Sunset was a game that I had played so much. When I finally won that game, thanks to some hardcore old school lucky die rolls, I put it up because I was afraid I'd just get trapped in that same matrix where you lose and you keep wanting to beat it again, and it becomes Groundhog Day. This, I feel like there's a little bit more strategy to it, a little less hard than Ottoman Sunset, but take that as you will. I give it a big thumbs up. 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, it's that good. To me, it's that good. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great day. Hope everyone's doing well. Summer is upon us. Very nice weather. Beautiful weather. So y'all take advantage of it before it gets to be, those triple digits out there. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.